All right, back to one of our top stories. Tributes continue to pour in for the late Gavin Watson. The community of Alicedale in the Eastern Cape, where the Watson brothers grew up, is in shock following the news of his untimely death on Monday. Let's go live now to Lerato Thipa, who is in Alicedale. Lerato, very good morning to you. Get us up to speed with regards to the reaction you're getting in the Eastern Cape.
All I can say that it wasn't hard to find people that could speak into the lives of the Watsons. We literally drove in. This is a street that we drove in, which is just one of the streets, the only street here in Alicedale. And as we drove in, they saw our car and they were like, "Are you guys here to ask us about the Watsons? We have got so much to say," because as a residents here in Alicedale, an area really marred with a high unemployment rate, we have got so much to say about this lovely family and how they changed our lives through their businesses. You will remember that Gavin Watson, of the three brothers, was the one who was really passionate about business. This is actually where the business, I think, passion for him started. What you see right now is an old bottle store, but this was actually their butchery. And we were told when we walked in that they had the best meat and the best biltong as well, and they used to give it to people on credit, and then they would give them about a month or so to pay back that credit. And in doing so, they developed a really love for the Watsons and how they're able just to provide for them and then obviously assist them as the month went on. But let's speak to a man who I met here when I got here, and he said, "You know, I grew up with the Watsons and now they know them very well, especially in terms of business and how this specific family has helped us." Mr. Chaka, let's first talk about the butchery, which is what you see behind us. What kind of butchery was it? And then also, as people here where there's so much high unemployment, how did the Watson butchery being here help you as a community?
The Watson's community, as the butchery, they were helpful about, they care for their community. And then there was a slaughter place, and their meat was a quality because they took from their farm and then they helped the community. And the community do make credits from Watsons, and they pay on the 27th because the people of Alicedale were hanging on that railway before.
Okay, let's just walk a bit. We're just going to take a walk, and then my camera lady will just show you. So right next door to this butchery is also a shop, which is what you see now on the shot, this yellow building. That was then became the famous shop, and the only shop in the street. And they would come and buy bread, they would buy butter, they would buy polony, just the small, intricate things to survive for the weekend. Even here, Mr. Watson will give you guys credit. Tell us more about the specific shop, the history of the shop, and how it really helped you.
This specific shop was Watson's shop. Also helping the community of Alicedale, black and white, every person. They were so kindful to the people. And then the people were also helping the Watson's family. And then that is what about this shop, because the people were getting credits from the shop. Actually, the Watson's family were helpful to the community.
And then also just as people, Tata, how friendly were they? Watsons.
They were goodful, helpful to the community. And they also teach people the rugby, and even Chiki Watson was a player of Alicedale. And then moved to PE to play for Eastern, the black people rugby team, and also became a choir those days.
When you got to the shop, was Gavin sometimes inside the shop? And if you got to talk to Gavin, what kind of person was he? Was he a friendly person? I know that he loved business, but when you went inside the shop and you saw him behind the till, what kind of person was Gavin Watson?
Gavin Watson was so friendly people. Was a man between the people, and he was talking closer with the community. And then when someone entered direct to the shop, he just came and served the people and asked him in that typical language, maybe Afrikaans or English or Xhosa. He was so helpful to the community.
Okay, Dad, let's just take a walk in the same street. So first you showed your butchery, then you showed your shop, just to show you how much influence this family had. Now, if you look to my extreme right, you see a worn-out white building. Now, that specific worn-out building is actually the former church of the Watsons. You might also know that Gavin Watson's father was a pastor, a very spiritual man. And of the three brothers, it is said that Gavin Watson is the one who took the more spiritual side of his father. He's known to be a Christian, a man of the cloth, a man who really loved prayer and loved the church. And this is where the church actually started, worn out right now, but it was actually the livelihood of this community as well. Dadu Chaka, tell us more about this church and how it helped you as well.
This church, Gavin's father was a helpful pastor. And then this was the church. And then everybody comes to the church and then makes the father, then Watson, makes some prayers here every night. And then the people were living right here before they move direct to Kwanonsokas.
And how was the father himself as a pastor? Would he help the community and the sons, were they also by their father as he also used the church to help the people?
Gavin's father was a very kindful man, and he used to be with the community, and he liked the community, and even he helped the community as an old man. And then that old man was helpful, and the mother of Gavin was also the one who helped the people.
Then lastly, Tata, Mr. Gavin Watson is no more. How are you as a community feeling about that?
The community of Alicedale, after they move, the Watson's family moves from here, and then the poverty become more and more because the people, because there were white people and helping the blacks, and then the poverty became very, 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 the people struck to those things. And then because the helpers were no more with the community.
Well, there was Dadu Chaka Suwisa, a resident from here in Alicedale, just saying that, you know what, this street brings back so many memories. Above all, it shows just the impact that the Watsons had in this community. We showed you a butchery where they got meat on credit, a shop where they got food on credit, and then also we showed you the church where Watson's father played a pivotal role in trying to solve the spiritual and emotional problems faced by this community. Mr. Chaka ended by saying that as soon as the Watsons left and moved to their farm or moved out of this area, that's when poverty was on the increase. And after Gavin Watson's death, the community is really, really sad and really grieving with the family during this time. But for now, let's go back to you in studio.
Yeah, Lerato, as we heard from the community member there, the Watson brothers closely associated themselves with the struggle for liberation, especially fighting for non-racial sport in South Africa. Lerato Thipa, thank you very much indeed for your reporting. Great reporting there. Lerato coming to us live from the Eastern Cape, Alicedale.